So in this video, I wanted to talk about the MacBook Pro 16-inch, whether or not this is actually a good travel computer laptop. And so what I have here is a little backpack. I'm a huge fan of backpacks and I carry a backpack all the time. And so I feel I could adequately give you some thoughts about whether or not you should get this laptop for travel. Right? So a lot of people use these laptops to travel with. So depending on wherever they are in the world, they can work, they can, edit videos or make music or just, browse the web and doing all sorts of things. Now, this is pretty much the most powerful laptop in the industry. So for some people, I would say that this is probably overkill, but we're going to get into the portion of this video that discusses whether or not this is actually good for traveling. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to mention. First of all, it's the weight. Like, is this weight too heavy for basic travel? So this weighs about 2.16 kilograms. And while that may sound like a lot to have in your backpack, if you actually consider things, most laptops are actually quite heavy. So if you take something like a 13-inch or a 14-inch MacBook, you get around 1.5 kilograms. So the difference isn't that huge. Like if you can carry 1.5, you can definitely carry 2 kilograms. So that's one aspect of this thing. Now, as far as like the size, it's a pretty big laptop if you just look at it like this. It's rather thin. It's not as thin as the previous generation, which is actually a good thing because this offers more performance and better heat handling and stuff like that. And especially if you're going to like a hot country, you don't want to have like an ultra thin laptop that can't handle the heat. We're talking like you're traveling to Indonesia or whatever. A MacBook Pro 16-inch is actually very good at handling heat because the CPU is very efficient. It's very power efficient. And if we're talking about battery life, well, it's a no-brainer. This is like 20 hours of work without having to plug in. And sometimes you're in a situation when you travel where you can't plug in your computer. So the insane battery life on this machine is top notch. In fact, this is the laptop when it comes to battery life. It's the best one ever. You really can't go wrong with the MacBook Pro 16-inch. Now, finally, I wanted to sort of talk about whether or not such a big computer actually fits into a backpack. So I actually have a very small backpack here. As you can see, it's not a very big. If this actually fits in here, then I would say that this is actually a good travel laptop. So let's just see if we can fit it in here. So I'm putting it in here, not having any issues, stuffing it in or anything like that. Closing it up, boom, there you go. This is definitely what I would call a traveling laptop, and it doesn't really feel too much. Of course, you're gonna fill it up with other things, but I'm just saying it definitely fits into a backpack. So if this is your big concern, if this is something that's holding you back before getting one of these machines, I don't think you should worry about this being too big or too heavy for traveling. Those are just some of my thoughts. Let me know what you think, but yeah, that's what I think. Hope you enjoyed this little video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.